So here we are in our safe space, our safe container. Scooch forward in your chair and take a moment to get grounded and rooted into this space. 3 cleansing breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through an open mouth. Using these breaths as transitional points. Coming from where you were to here you are in your practice. If it feels good and safe, I'll invite you to close the eyes and begin to draw the awareness inward to yourself. And taking just a quick scan of the body to notice what areas that you may be having tenderness or discomfort. And I'll offer you 2 changes of language. One is if you have an area of injury, instead of calling it your bad limb, call it your challenged limb. And instead of using the word pain, use the word discomfort, just to start to reframe that whole body-brain pain cycle, discomfort cycle. So taking your awareness to those areas of less comfort or discomfort. And beginning to use your natural, normal breath to swirl around those places and spaces. And seeing if it's possible at all to first use the breath to soften any areas that are causing you challenge. And then taking your awareness to a part of your body that feels really good today. Bringing a little smile to your face, that part of your body feels good and energized, just feels maybe nothing. It's just not speaking to you at all. So give it some attention. It's like the quiet kid in class, right? That would make that little kid feel so good to get some nice, gentle attention. And then see if it's possible to shift your nervous system from a place of busyness that we may have come from to a place of rest, relax, and digest. Soften the belly so that as you breathe in, that belly can round out. Get more space in your chest so you can fill the lungs. And then just a regular exhalation out the nose. A couple more belly breaths, breathing in through the nose, allowing the belly to soften and round and the side ribs to expand. Maybe the chest even broadens as you lift your heart and curiosity and openness to what is in your practice today. And then just a regular old full exhalation. And then when it's right for you, and you take that next breath in, see if you can soften the exhalation and keep that flame as if it were under your nose from moving. Soft and gentle. No hurry. Full and complete. When you think you've breathed everything out, breathe a little bit more out. Wait for the need to breathe to bubble up and enjoy a full breath in. And a soft and slow breath out. It helps to visualize the candle flame being still. Swirling that awareness around the places of your body that feel good. And this is an exercise I invite you to practice in the middle of the night when you may wake up from discomfort, or just sometime during the day to give yourself a 5-minute respite. And try to break that body-brain loop. And bring your hands to your heart space, finger to finger, palm to palm, with the thumbs pointing toward the heart. That special I am, that presence of who and how you are today. Not judging it, making friends with it. And we'll unite ourselves together in that wonderful sound of Om, just one big full resounding Om. So exhale fully and inhale and join me if you wish. Om. Bow your head to your heart. And lower your hands down to your thighs and gently blink your eyes open. Good. This makes me tear up a little bit. Thinking about being together like that. Just lift your leg up and make some circles with your ankles. Let's wake up our feet a little bit, the foundational piece of our body. You're sitting here in the chair. If you're sitting on the mat, just kind of roll back or extend your legs in Dandasana or staff pose and just twinkle those toes, get those feet and those ankles moving. All right, feel the feet connected to the earth and make some circles with your torso. Feel the sitting bone connection, that place of foundation of the sitting bones. You're here, you're safe. And then go the other direction. Very nice, good. And we're gonna do Lakshmi Volker's knee massage, which feels really good. So I want you to take your blocks, and this is easier to do in a chair, and turn your blocks in front of you, in front of your right leg, so that when you extend your leg out, your heel will kind of stick out over it a little bit. It's just like a hassock, all right? That's all we're using it for right now. Get those blocks ready. Bobby, we always try to have all our goodies right next to us. And while you're getting that, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so then lift your foot up and let it be dangly. So your arms are doing all the work of your foot. And start to just kick your leg back and forth like your little kid sitting on a bench that's too high for you. Getting some range of motion and greasing up that joint a bit, all right? And you may hear some cracking and crunching. So you're gonna feel underneath your knee these ropey tendons. So give those ropey tendons a little massage. Sometimes they get some stickiness or some scar tissue in there. So just, try to rub into that as much as you can. All right, now, extend your leg on your hassock. So your leg should be relaxed now, just let it just not have any muscle energy. Take the palms of your hands and rub the side of your knee. Rub, 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 get some friction going. So this is going to help bring a little blood supply to your knee, to your leg, and a little bit of heat and warmth. And I can really feel my whole knee structure starting to warm up a little bit. Now we're going to just pinch around the outer edge of the knee. And this brings just some awareness, some physical sensation, again, some blood supply. So it's like I'm kind of snapping my fingers around the perimeter of my knee joint. All right, now some of your knees may be completely, your kneecaps may be completely frozen in place, but see if you can give a little swirl of your kneecap. And this is where you really feel the, the crunching and the kind of, I just don't want to say the word crud, but I've had my knees with arthroscopies and I know they pulled some stuff out. We go back and forth. If you want to put one hand on top of the other, if it doesn't move at all, just put one hand on top of the other and rotate it both directions. All right. And then pick that leg up again, swing it, a little more massage underneath the knee. And we'll go to the other side. That's an acupressure massage. So let's start on the other side now. So pick the other leg up, just swing it. You can lean back in the chair too. Don't feel like you have to sit up straight. Lean back in the chair, let the foot be as free, flowing back and forth. A little range of motion in that knee. Start to massage the ropey tendons underneath your knee. And put your foot up on that hassock. Rub the sides. Nice massage. It really builds up the heat, doesn't it? Because it's a hard work. Pinch the sides of the perimeter of the knee. And then try to see what kind of range of motion your kneecap has, what kind of movement it is willing to give you. If nothing, just put one palm over top of the other, one hand over top of the other, and just kind of tell your knee that you're giving it some nice little movement. And then pick that up again, a little bit more massage there. And then set that foot up on the block. And right above the knee, you have a quadricep tendon. So you have the knee and your thigh. And actually extend it long again. You'll feel it better. You'll feel like a 1 to 2 inch tendon that attaches the quadricep bone to around the knee. And this is called a cross fiber massage. So I'm just right above the kneecap. I'm rubbing my thumb back and forth this way, all right, from the lateral to the medial side, back and forth. And this is something you can do while you're watching TV, because you're supposed to do it for about 4 minutes on the quadricep. And then below here on this is below the knee where it attaches to the shin bone below the knee. This is called you'll find another tendon there. If you feel it, if you don't feel it, you're still in the right place if you're under the kneecap. And massage that, that's the patellar tendon. And we're doing a cross fiber massages. The fibers run from north to south, and we're taking it from east to west and massaging across it. And that just helps to break up some scar tissue, give it a little bit more blood supply, just feed it and nourish it, all right? So if you want to do the other side for a minute or so, or 30 seconds even, just to get a feel for where those tendons are, you can use your fingers, you could use a ball, you could use I don't think a rolling pin would work because you want to go this direction. You want to go east to west and then go down below the other knee. Okay. All right, so that's a little self-care massage that you can do with your knees. And just kind of rub them, give them some love, let go of the judgment. They're not bad, they're just having some challenge. All right, take your block and we're going to place it fat ways, lengthwise between your thighs, in the medius part of your thighs. All right, so your feet are about, mat distance apart. And we're going to work the strengthening the inner thigh to start. So with the knees pointing forward and the feet pointing forward, draw that belly in and up, sit away from your chair if you can, and squeeze the legs toward each other. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Keep squeezing till you feel a little heat build up in those inner thighs. Okay, and then release that. Take another breath in and squeeze, 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 squeeze. I've got my block lengthwise, so my legs are pretty far apart. And wait until you feel those inner thighs fire up and release. Let's do that 2 more times. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. My legs are shaking because this is not a muscle you use regularly. And squeeze, 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 squeeze. Rose, I like what you're doing. Rose is given a nice open and close after she squeezes. So let's all do that. Just open and close, take the block out. Our students are our best teachers. All right, now turn the block in north to south and walk your feet a little bit closer. So here we're going to turn our toes in toward each other, like pigeon toes. Lift the heels up, all right? Lift the heels up and draw that belly in and up. So get the core engaged. You're sitting away from the back of the chair. And give the block a squeeze now. What's happening here is you're working the inner thighs as well as the pelvic floor, that deepest, lowest core muscle. And this is a Marcia Holm exercise in lieu of Kegels. And it helps us to strengthen that pelvic floor. So release that now. Pause, let the blood, can you feel the blood kind of moving around in that lower inner thigh area. Lift the heels up again, squeeze the block. Take your awareness to the inner thigh, the pelvic floor. You don't have to do anything, all right, with the pelvic floor. It knows what it's doing. It knows that this is a way to strengthen. So if you're having any issues with when you sneeze or cough or giggle too much and you have some incontinence, this is a good thing to practice too. Release that, take a little breath, but pause is as important as the work in this. All right, and well, let's do that 2 more times. So lift the heels, squeeze the legs toward each other. So I do teach a pelvic floor workshop as well. That'll be coming probably in the spring or summer down the road. But this is one of the really good exercises. I had at that time, 87-year-old, she's 90 now, working on these. And this is one of the things we did, and she got out of her depends. All right, last time, squeeze, lift the heels. She'll kill me if she heard me say that. And draw that pelvic floor, just let it do its job. Heels are up, toes are turned in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And believe it or not, all of those structures help to support the knees. All right, and release that. Remove the block. And let's just do a little heel toe lift, heel toe, alternate heel toe. Pumping now the calf muscle, working the feet, getting the flexion of the toes. If you have arthritis in your feet, then just don't go up as high. But notice, how does it feel just to lift up onto my toes sitting in the chair, not bearing my weight? Because we are going to do some heel lift standing, and that might not be a good idea for you, or you may want to consider wearing shoes. All right, so lean back in your chair now and lift your right leg in towards your chest. Again, I'm always needing to make these circles with my ankles. And we're just gonna extend and bring that knee into the chest about 10 times. And I'm using the support of my hands to help with this, because this is a big hip flexor, core, and quad strengthener. And this is what you're gonna do if squats don't work for you. And the more you can come away from the back of the chair, the more you can sit forward in the chair, and the more you can go hands-free, the more strength you'll build into this structure. But if you're not there yet, you're gonna lean back and hold on to the chair. All right, let's go to the other side. First with some support, maybe leaning into the chair, maybe not. Pressing out through that heel of the foot. Maybe sitting forward, maybe holding on for a few or not. Okay, feel that knee. That's an extensor. The quad extends, the hamstring flexes. So we need to work them both. Good. Now sit up as much as you can. Take that leg out to the side and cross it over. See if you can get it to move all the way out and cross over. Maybe you need to lower that other leg down a little bit. Maybe you need to sit back in the chair if you're having any lower back discomfort. Your practice, your choices. Here we're just kind of warming up that hip joint. And then let's go to the other side. You can hold on to the chair if that helps too. So anything we do in yoga shouldn't hurt, all right? It should feel like a good stretch. It should be a sensation, but it should not be a super uncomfortable sensation. Okie doke, lower that leg down. And then we're going to find our strap and our blocks. So one block's gonna come out so we can extend our right leg. The other block's gonna be on the inside edge of the left foot so we can go from hamstring to figure four and work the back of the hamstring and then go to the outside of the hip, which is our abductor, right? So lasso your foot. We're going to stretch the calf muscle first. All right, so you've got the foot, the strap around the ball of the foot, not around the arch of the foot. And I want you to plug your leg bone into your pelvis. So make sure your sitting bones are rooted on the chair, but you've got enough space. Some of you may need to use 2 blocks if your legs are a little bit shorter. It's more comfortable to have 2 blocks stacked. All right, draw those toes towards your nose. Sit up nice and tall. And for some of us, this is enough of a stretch right here. As you press the heel down into the block and the thigh bone down toward the earth, really feel that engagement. Lengthen the spine. And if it's right for you, hinge forward, leading with your heart. So hinge from your hip crease, lead with your heart, feel that hamstring stretch. Now, if it's too much, soften your toes down a little bit. But if you're getting a good stretch, not a painful one, but a good stretch, then draw those toes a little more towards your nose, stretch through the Achilles, the calf, and now the whole belly of the hamstring. 15 to 20 to 30-ish seconds will give you a stretch. Lift back up, do that again. Full breath in, re-nourish. How slow can you breathe out? Can you make your movement go with your slow breath? Keep pressing the heel down, the thigh bone down. Good. All right, sit back up. I'm going to use the strap to externally rotate my leg, keep the foot flexed, and place the pinky toe side of the block on of my foot on the block. Hands rest on the thighs, and we're going to hinge forward again, getting that nice outer hip stretch. So it's on the outside of that right hip. Head and neck are lifted. Good. You still see some beautiful smiles and eyes. Lift back up. And then one more time, hinge forward. Pay attention to how this side feels because we're going to compare it to the other side. Now I'm going to do this one more time and give you a different offering. So you can stay right here where you are, and you know the block can be lower if you need it to be. But you know the leg can also go up to the top of the knee if you want to try that. Maybe even slide the foot down a little bit so it's slightly down. And then try that again. But if it doesn't work, keep the foot on the block. So what my point in showing you this is you can do this in the middle of the day. If you don't have a block or anything around and this feels okay for you, give yourself a couple figure 4 modified pigeon poses, Ekapada Raja Kapotasana. And then lift back up. All right, let's switch blocks. So now this one's coming to the inside of the right foot and the left leg extends out. And place your left foot on the block. Lasso your foot. Toes toward the nose, head of the leg bone plugged in, sitting bones rooted to the chair. Press the thigh bone down, lift and lengthen, hinge forward. Give you a little bit of a distraction here. Here's a funny knee limerick. As a girl, I fell out of a tree. Not really a safe thing, you'll agree. Raced round as I biked, fell down as I hiked. It's no wonder I have a bad knee. She should have said challenged, but lift back up and hinge forward. And it's like Doug Keller said that, you know, our bodies are intended to be used and stuff's going to happen. If we just stayed in a box like a Barbie doll all our lives, we probably wouldn't have, I mean, we wouldn't be able to move, but you know what I mean. If we overprotected ourselves and didn't live our lives, these are all reminders of falling out of trees and hiking and skinning our knees. Lift back up and then take that foot to the outside. Press the heel of the foot into the earth, lengthen, and hinge forward. Good. Now, does this side feel different from the other side? Good. Keep flexing your foot to protect that knee. If it's too much on your knee, you can always take your foot out further and maybe more out to the side. Sometimes that gives you a little less crunch in the knee. So taking it out to the outer edge of the mat and forward takes it a little more out of the knee, keeps it into that hip. All right, then lift back up. Set the block aside, the straps on the block aside for now. And just going to work our shoulders a bit. So interlace your fingers, sitting in your seated mountain, and bring the hands under the chin. First, find that length in your spine, elbows lift, draw that belly in and up. Full breath in here. Now press palms forward, draw the chin to the chest, round your back. Feel the shoulder blades spread across the back. Bring the hands back under the chin, lift the elbows up to your level of comfort. Nice, long, tall spine, breathe in. And as you exhale, round the back, chin to the chest, press the palms forward. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, press forward, round. Feel those shoulder blades spread. And last one, inhale, lift. And exhale, press forward. And then come back to neutral spine, palms face up like you're holding onto a tray. All right, lift the elbows out to the side, palms face toward me, thumbs down, and reach the palms up towards the sky. Palms down in front of your face, elbows lower, palms like you're holding a tray. All right, let's do that a few more times as a flowy movement. Elbows out, palms face forward and up toward the sky. And palms come down, hold the tray. Elbows out, palms forward and up. And lower the hands, palms face up, hold your tray. And now a nice fluid movement. Breathing in and breathing out. This way of using the palms in this direction fires up the muscles of the shoulders in the way they're intended to do. So I'm just trying to get your shoulders warmed up a little bit before we do our crescent poses. All right, knowing that, depending on how your shoulders are, that when we're doing crescent, your fingertips can remain on your elbows with your elbow pointed out to the side. If you're able, reach that right arm up overhead and crescent over toward that side. Get that stretch along the whole side body. And lift and lower 3 more times. So breathe in as you use your side body muscles, lift. And as you exhale, hinge. Breathe in, lengthen. And breathe out. Connect this movement with your breath. Inhale. And exhale. This time, bring both arms up overhead. Stretch and lengthen. Maybe the fingertips are on the shoulder. And then lower that right hand down, crescent. Good. Breathe in and out. Good. I think I always think of a willow tree here. Last one, hinge over. Bring both arms up, palms together, and lower the hands down to the heart. Take your left hand to your left knee. Reach the right arm up overhead again, and gently twist towards the right as you bring your left hand back behind you or back behind the chair, if that works. Maybe it needs to just come down by your side, but if you can I'm kind of wrapping my arm around that back chair. This is a different kind of twist that keeps the heart lifted and the heart open. And if you need to shift your pelvis a little bit, so you're taking anything out of your lumbar spine, don't twist through the lumbar spine, twist from the middle back. All right, come back to center slowly. Keep the right hand on the right knee, lift the left arm up, and gently twist toward the left, and then give your chair a hug back behind you, or just release that arm down by your side. Keep that belly drawn in. Drawing your belly in helps to cushion the spine so that it has some support. We all need a little support. And then slowly come back to center. Take your feet out wide, hands on the thighs, draw that belly in and just hinge forward. That's a nice stretch in the lower back. Press up and back. Notice how this feels in your lower back when we do forward folding. Notice how straight your spine is. Even when we're standing and doing forward fold, we're going to still lead with the heart and keep that nice natural curve in your lumbar spine. 2 more. And lift. And last one, hinge forward. Now press the hands on the outsides of the thighs or the knees, elbows press out. Press the legs into the hands, hands into the legs, and feel the outside hips fire up and the shoulders. Press, press, press. So push the legs into the hands into the legs, create that isometric resistance. Good. And then release that tension, hands on the thighs, press up to sitting. Now we're going to do our sit stand, and I'd like to try to do at least 10 of these. It's a lot on the knees. So if you put a block in between your thighs, that's going to help you to remember to use more of your legs and your core, okay? So if that works for you, I like to make more of it sticking up so it doesn't get in my way. But squeezing it does that pelvic floor engagement, draws the lower belly in. I'm going to hinge forward, press the feet into the earth, and then just kind of as if. So lift the hips up. So this will be for those of you when we're doing maybe goddess, you can just kind of, I can feel my quads. Put your hands on your quads and really feel your quads fire up when you do the as if, pushing the feet down, slightly sliding a piece of paper under your sitting bones. Okay, so then if you're ready, press your hands into your thighs and come to standing, squeeze that block, shift the weight to the heels of the feet. This is starting with chair, right? Chair pose, bending the knees, sitting down. How did that feel? How are you going to do when we go to do chair? And then keep trying. Maybe you use your hands on your thighs. Maybe your hands cross over your chest. So hinge forward, nose over toes, keep reaching forward, keep squeezing that block. Shift the weight to the heels of the feet, sit down without a plop. Some of you may want to take your arms out to the side and lift up. Shift that weight to the heels. Some of you like to scoop. Some people do better with a nice wide stance. This is where you are right now, nice wide stance. And some people like doing opposite, like 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and then switching. So you get equal opportunity on both legs. So do a couple more while I move the video back. So which way do you like to sit down? Which way is going to be most supportive for you to start building some strength with that? All righty. Move all my goodies out of the way. I'm going to put the chair on the side so my wall's over on my right side. Well, actually, when I turn sideways, the wall's here. I'm going to put my chair on the opposite side. Okay, so I'm going to move between wall and chair. Okay, so if you have a way to do that in your space, that would be really helpful because we're going to be using the wall some today. I'll give you a chance to set that up. And Rose is going, wait, I don't have a wall. So, okay, so the chair, you'll be able to still use the chair for the most part. Is that a fireplace over there? Is there a hearth on your fireplace? Have a back of a chair, your chair will work. If you don't have a wall, we'll use the chair, okay? All right. So let's get started here. I like to have one block again between the thighs because that we know really fires up the core. All right, so also kind of get your feet at a nice hip bone distance apart. So give your block a squeeze, press your feet into the floor. Feel how sturdy your core feels when you squeeze that block. Roll the shoulders up, palms face down, palms face forward, sorry. And just take a breath here. Feel this alignment, shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankles. And then just kind of shift your weight forward and back. So shift your weight onto the balls of your feet and then onto the heels of your feet. And notice when you shift your weight over toward the balls of your feet, your back body tightens up because it's trying to keep you from falling. And when you shift your weight more toward the heels of your feet, your front body fires up because it's trying to keep you from falling backwards. So if you chronically lean forward when you walk, you're going to have a real tight backside. And if you lean back or walk like deputy dog, you're going to have a real tight front side. So that's where we want to find that Tadasana, that place in the middle. All right, so we're going to move into Tadasana and chair pose now. So if chair doesn't work for you, you can do the as if seated chair like we were doing. So hands come onto the heart, squeeze the block. I'm going to turn sideways. Shift your weight to the heels of the feet. Start to bend the knees and sink the hips. Keep squeezing that block, okay? Feel the core working. We're not arching the back, lengthening the tailbone down. Really working those thighs. Squeeze the legs and then push the feet into the earth, come to standing. One more time, shift the weight to the heels of the feet, send those sitting bones down. Only go as far as feels good for you. If your knees aren't having it today, you are doing chair as if standing, just like we did right before this pose. One more time, shift the weight to the heels of feet, squeeze the legs together and sink the hips. Good. Feel a lot of work going on here and then come to standing. Turn and face your chair, and depending on how far you want to go with your forward fold, you can use the back of the chair or the seat of the chair or the seat of the chair with a block at a different height. It's right in the middle, high, medium, low. Okay, so give yourself the option of what works, of what you feel like doing today. We're going to go from chair to forward fold to chair to standing. All right. If you are having Sarah with those knees, you can just go do your forward fold pranam and work on strengthening your core. So keep the block between the thighs, and rather than sinking into chair, just hinge forward, really use that core strength. It takes core to lift and lower. All right, so those of you who are doing chair, hands to the heart, shift the weight to the heels of your feet, bend the knees, send the sitting bones back, come to chair. Keep squeezing that block, feel the core fire up, lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. All right, bring your hands to your thighs and start to straighten the knees a little bit, hinge forward. Maybe the hands come to the back of the chair, the block, or the seat of the chair. Come to forward fold. Knees are as straight as your spine can stay long. Shift the weight to the balls of your feet. That's going to help your alignment, all right, so that your hips stay over your ankles. Now shift your weight to the heels of your feet, bend your knees into chair, hands come onto the thighs, draw that belly in and up, come up to chair, hands come to the heart. Push the feet into the earth, come to standing. You should feel these quads and glutes really work. We're only gonna do that one more time, okay? Give it your best. Come to your mountain pose. Squeeze the block, get the core ready, shift the weight to the heels of your feet, send the sitting bones back, strong legs here. Draw that belly in and up. All right, from here, just hinge forward. Start to straighten the knees a little bit. Hands go wherever they're most supportive. Start to straighten the knees just a bit, only if the spine can stay long. Keep that belly engaged. And then come back to chair. So shift the weight to the heels of the feet. Bend the knees. Hands press on the thighs, only lifting the torso. Keep the knees bent if you can. Lift the torso. Hands come back to the heart. And then press the feet into the earth, come to standing. Release the block. And you should have felt work. That should have felt like a lot of work. Shake your legs out. Okay. All right. We're going to go from goddess to star now. So I'm going to actually turn my chair back around. So I have a little balance prop, or you can use the wall. All right, to warm up for star, I'm going to work these, that mini butt muscle, that abductor, adductor. So standing away from the chair just a bit, you can either tap your center of the room leg out and then cross it over and tap. Okay, so it's tapping out and crossing over. You can see we're working the outer and inner hip, abductor, adductor. All right, the other option is to really root down through that standing leg, flex your foot, and then extend the leg out to the side and cross that leg over. If you want to use the other arm, the same side of the arm to guide the leg. And this is your kitchen counter pose. This is something that you can do while you're just kind of hanging out, waiting for your tea kettle to boil. One more, out and cross, good. And maybe some circles with your torso, knees, ankles, hips, both ways. Nice, okay. Take a stance about as wide as a mat, all right? Toes are pointing out at 45 degrees. If the knees aren't having this, you're going to as if it again. I want you to squeeze the legs, press the feet into the earth, and isometrically squeeze the legs toward each other. Feel the inner thighs fire up. Reach your arms out to the side if you feel balanced and plug the head of the arm bone into the shoulder. So draw those shoulder blades together. Full breath in here. This is star. Now, just simply bend the knees, tracking the knees over the feet. Tailbone points straight down. You're not sticking your butt out. Straight down, and bring your arms to goddess arms, cactus arms, palms facing forward. Again, squeeze the legs toward each other. Feel the inner thighs fire up. Now press the feet into the earth. Extend the arms out long to star. Inhale here and exhale, press back down into your goddess. If you're not bending the knees, just keep squeezing those legs toward each other. Open the arms out to the side. One more time, Goddess. And straighten out. Good. Lower the arms down. Heel toe your feet back to neutral. Bring the arms back to Goddess. And bring the palms, heels of the hand, and elbows toward each other. Lower the chin to the chest. Feel that stretch across the back of the shoulders. Find your breath. Good. And open the arms out to the side. Lower the arms down. Roll the shoulders out. And shake everything out. All right. You can use a chair here for this next one. I'll demo it both ways. It's kind of the same. All right. So I know some of you don't have a wall. So if you have a wall, go ahead and face your wall a little bit more than arm's distance away from the wall. So I can't touch the wall. Same with the chair. I really can't touch the chair. Okay. Wherever you are, you're going to just make sure your chair is stable and safe, not going to slide forward. You're going to kind of lean onto the chair, come up on your tiptoes a bit, lean onto the chair. See, I'm leaning forward. I'm at a little bit of a plank. I'm going to bring the left foot forward into a bent knee and take that right foot into warrior one feet, meaning that the heel is on the floor and the toes are pointing out at a 45-degree angle. And my body, the crown of my head is in line with my heel. I'm not arched back like that. That's why I wanted you to hinge forward a little bit. All right, so from here, we're going to straighten, keep that back knee straight. So press the back of the thigh bone back behind you. All right, and now here's the tricky part. To get a nice stretch in the back of the ankle and the calf, mindfully and slowly start to bend your right knee a little bit and sink into that just a tiny bit. So you can feel a stretch across the back of the calf and the front of the shin. All right, now lift up onto the toe if that's in your wheelhouse today for your feet. Lift up onto the toes, straighten both knees, and then sink back into your warrior one. Bent front left knee, straight right leg, toes pointing 45 degrees. So that's the routine, okay? So warrior one, breathe in. As you exhale, bend that back knee, get that stretch across the back of the Achilles and calf. Some of you have really tight calves. You may need to lift your heel a little bit or just not bend the knee as much. Straighten both knees, lift up on the back of that back foot, strengthening the foot. Can we do that one more time on this side? All right, lower the heel, bend that front knee, squeeze that back glute, straighten the knee, press the thigh bone back. Now a gentle bend to that back knee, only as far as feels safe in your body. And then straighten both knees, lift up on that back foot. I'm still at that little bit of plank angle. And then step that back foot forward. Okay, let's do the other side. So step away from your wall or the chair. All right, and then lean into it. And now we're going to step the other foot back. Where do we step back? We're going to step the left foot back at a 45-degree angle. All right, lean forward. Take a bend to that front knee, that back knee, and then lift up on the toe. Lower the heel, bend the front right knee. Take a little bend to the back left knee. Straighten both knees, lift up on that heel, that back heel. Last time, lower the back heel, bend the front knee, squeeze that back glute, lift the back thigh bone away from you. And then start to bend that back knee just a bit. And then straighten the knees, lift the heel. And step the back foot forward. Shake it out. Okay, now you can use the wall or a chair. We're going to go from warrior one to pyramid, and that's going to stretch, strengthen the hip and stretch the back of the hamstring. So I can show you what that looks like real quick. I'm going to step the right foot back into warrior one legs, so a nice wide base of support. Squeeze that back glute, and then straighten front knees. Make sure my hips are pointing forward. And then hinge forward, hands on the back of the chair or on the wall. Feel that stretch in the front of that hamstring and then press into the chair or the wall and lift back to standing. Take a bend to the knee, straighten, hinge forward, okay? So that's what you're getting into. So step forward with the left foot, take the right foot out to the side, nice wide base of support, 45 degrees. Take a bend to that front knee. This is a little bit of a shorter warrior one. All right, squeeze that back right glute, warrior one. Straighten that front left leg. Send that left hip crease back as you hinge forward over the chair. Feel the stretch in the back of the hamstring. I'm going to pause here for a breath or two. What happened to your core? Draw that belly in and up. Try not to hyperextend your knees. So a nice gentle softening of the knee. Lift back up. Full breath in. As you exhale, bend that front knee. Straighten the front knee. Send the torso forward into pyramid. Press up to standing. Bring the back foot forward. Tadasana. And step the left foot back into warrior. So you're a nice wide base of support here. All right. Hands are on the chair. Take a bend to that front right knee. Straighten the knee, hinge forward. Get that right hip crease back a bit. Feel that stretch in the front of the hamstring. Stay here for a breath or two. Try to get weight on both feet. Lift back up, breath in. Take a bend to the front knee. Straighten the front knee, hinge forward. Lift back up and step the back foot forward and shake it out. All right, one more thing to do here. Holding on tightly to a chair. It's best if you're kind of in between a chair and a wall or a chair and a sofa or something, because we're going to do a balance challenge. And I just want to show you what you're getting into, but this is one of the poses that they feel is one of the greatest ways to strengthen all the structures you need to support the knees. But if your knees are already having trouble, you may have a little bit of challenge. So I'm going to show you a modified way to do it. Is if you're standing with the, I'm going to say I'm standing on the left side here. I step my left foot back. Here's the modified way. You step together, knee up, together, and back into a little lunge, okay? Step together, up, lower, and step back into a lunge, making sure the alignment is good. The knee, that front knee does not go beyond the ankle. Now, if you're feeling really strong today, you're going to do it in one fluid motion. So you're going to just step that knee up and then step that foot back. Step that knee up and step that foot back. Now the third option, which I'm not going to do because I have arthritis in this front foot, is when you lift your knee up, you lift the heel up. All right, but that hurts my toes too much, so I'm not going to do that today. And then step back. But that's an option for you, lifting that standing heel up. And let's do one more. So you've got step together, knee up, down and back. Last one, or one fluid movement. You choose. All right, so you could feel that strengthens the front quad and the opposite hip flexor, the glute, structures the calf and the foot. So it gets everything. All right, just turn around to do the other side if you're in between a space, or you don't have to. We're going to step the other foot back, step forward, knee up, knee down, step back into lunge. Make sure that knee is stacking over the ankle. Everything should be in alignment, or you can do it in one fluid movement. And if you choose to lift up on that heel, which this foot feels fine, I can lift up on this heel a little bit, but not a have to. All right, so you choose which one works best for you. And this is kind of like the culminating of everything we've, it takes your breath away too. All right, last one. Good. All right. And shake it all out. And then, yay, come onto your back. Okay? Come onto your back with your strap nearby. Now, before you get all the way down there, you haven't gotten there yet. If it works for you to come on your elbows with your knees bent like this, if you can do that, do that. If it's not going to work for you because your shoulders don't like it, just go ahead and lie back, okay? If that works for you, go ahead and try that. And we're going to just bring one knee into the chest and extend that out. So your option here is to slide the foot on the floor and bring it back up, or lift the knee into the chest and extend it out. Keep that core strong. So you can do this in bed, right? This can be one of those getting in the morning things. Or Sarah, this would be really good to strengthen and Judy, the quads when you're not bearing any weight on the leg, okay? And then make a square with your leg. This helps to work the inner and outer hip. So make a little square and then go both directions. And then another little square. And again, if this doesn't feel good on your shoulders, you can always lie all the way back, but it's a little bit harder. Knee to chest and extend, or slide the leg up and down. Knee to chest and extend. Good. You all right, Amelia? Trying to get yourself situated there. We're almost done with this part. Couple more. Real good way for people that have challenged knees already to still strengthen the hip flexors and the quads. Now make a little square. This is like doing the star adduction, right? We're working that little outer hip and inner hip. So go the other direction. So this is a good modification for when we're standing and doing star and extending that leg out to the side and crossing over. One more square. And these are low to the ground, okay? That requires a little more control. All right, now I'm gonna lie all the way back. Have your strap. And place the strap around your right foot. All right. Get the legs even with each other. And then lift the leg up only to the point where it's straight. So if it's not straight, lower it back down. All right, so we're going to bend and straighten the leg here, pulling on the strap a little bit so that we have to use the strength of our leg to resist against the strap. So another good way to strengthen the quad without having to bear any weight. So I'm pulling on the strap and using the strength of my leg to resist and push that back up. And you'll feel your quad and your hamstring having to work a little bit on this. A couple more here. You feel that work in your extensors, your thigh extensors. All right, now both straps into the opposite hand, and then go ahead and take that leg out to the side for a little bit of nice stretch in that inner thigh. And take the other knee out to the side so you're balancing out your pelvis, the weight on your pelvis. Good. Back to center. Swap your feet out. On the ball of the foot there, straighten the leg up as much as it'll go straight. And then give a little tug of the strap on your foot and use some resistance with the strap. So you're actually having to push the leg into the strap to lift it up. So this is working the hamstring too. Good, working it. Very nice, that's a lot of work. All right, now put the straps in the opposite hand and take that leg out to the side and take your other knee, your other bent knee out to the opposite side. So you're getting a nice inner thigh stretch. Use the strength of your leg to lift that leg back up. Bend the knee, take the strap off for now. And come to bridge legs, okay? So Your feet are as close to your buttocks as your knees will allow. If your knees hurt, you need to take your feet out a little bit wider, all right? So go to where it's comfortable for you. I'm going to do these a little bit differently than how I usually teach them. Still the same arms, all right? So still snuggle your shoulder blades behind your back and palms are facing each other. Normally, I want you to soften the glutes. What I want you to do now is squeeze your glutes, squeeze your butt muscles, and tuck your tailbone a little bit. So flatten out your lumbar spine. So squeeze, flatten out your lumbar spine, press the whole of the foot into the earth, and then lift the hips up. And we're going to do them rhythmically. So now we're going to lower back down, squeeze, tuck, press the feet and lift, and lower. Squeeze the glutes, flatten your tailbone down, press the feet into the floor and lift, and lower. Squeeze and tuck, press and lift, and lower. Squeeze and tuck, press and lift. When I say press, I mean press your feet into the floor and lower. Two more. Squeeze the glutes, flatten your tailbone, press the feet into the floor, lift the hips, and release. You should start feeling these hamstrings and these quads really working. Feel the glutes working as well. All the supporting structures for your knees. All right, bring your feet together and turn your toes out to a 45-degree angle. We're going to do 5 more of the same thing. So squeeze, flatten, press the heels together and lift the hips and release. Squeeze the glutes, flatten your tailbone, squeeze, press the heels together and lift. You don't have to go high and lower. Let's just do 2 more. Squeeze the glutes, tuck the tailbone, squeeze the heels together and lift. Last one, squeeze glutes, tuck the tailbone, press the heels and lift. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and release. Take your feet out about a little wider than hip distance apart. We're going to do 3 more this way. So squeeze the glutes, flatten your tailbone, press the feet, the whole of the feet into the floor and lift. Hold it, hold it, hold it, and lower. Squeeze the glutes, flatten the tailbone, press the feet and lift. 2, 3, 4, and last one. Squeeze the glutes, flatten the lumbar spine, and press the feet, lift the hips. 3, 4, and 5. Lower down. Whew. And one or both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a hug. So you may have felt different sensations there. Maybe the outer hip for that last one, the inner thighs for the middle one, the quads and hamstrings for the first one. Works different muscles, all right? And make some circles with your ankles. All right. Let's do a nice full body stretch. As long as the back is okay. If not, keep your knees bent and stretch and lengthen. Oh, good. And take a moment now to notice what your body needs to do in order to settle into Shavasana. So maybe a Baddha Konasana or a little twist of the spine, knee side to side. Do your own prana response. Make sure you're warm enough. Good. And then go ahead and take 2 or 3 cleansing breaths just to release any tension that may have accumulated. Nice breath in. Take a moment to notice the sensations of your body, to notice if any part of your body is speaking to you. And without judging it, can you welcome the sensation in? Name the body part, name the sensation. It's just sensation. And then see if you can't find a part of your body that maybe is sensation-less or feels really good and open. And take your awareness to that place. And with a few natural breaths, just swirl the breath into that wonderful, calm space of equilibrium. And rest in that place for just a few more breaths. And then a breath or two of quiet, calm exhalation, barely moving the flame. And when you feel ready, let go of the conscious breath and allow the breath to breathe itself. Begin to come back into this space. If you choose to stay in Shavasana, stay as long as you want. No rush to get out, but if you feel ready, begin to come back to a nice conscious breath and invite a full breath in, slow breath out. Begin wiggling your fingers and toes. Bend your knees. Notice how the knees are feeling. Give your knees a little rub, a little love, a little hug. Say something nice about them. Thank the quiet kid in the class for allowing you to take your attention there. And then when you feel ready, roll over onto your favorite side and use your hands to press up to a comfortable seat. hands are available to come back to the heart space. Let's just chant the sound of Om one more time to send each other off with that familiar sound of unity, knowing that we're all under the same big blue, sometimes snowy sky. So take a full breath in. Bow your head to honor your own practice and breathe.